Breaking news, rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder-for-hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also accused and taking part in that for hire plot. Now, the plot targeted rapper Quando Rondo's cousin, who was killed in 2022.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the site. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars zoom off.
Yeah, Rick and Sean, according to GBI, rapper King Von and his group were at Opium nightclub before making their way here to Monaco Hookah Lounge, then to the parking lot.
It's true. According to reports, Lil Durk is in serious legal difficulties once more. Durk's past might have finally caught up with him in 2022 if the rapper's arrest on accusations of having a relationship with the King of Warriors' cousin is true.
News, rapper Lil Durk is charged in a murder-for-hire plot.
Lil Durk's real name is Durk Bank, and he is from Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested.
Conditions therefore reached a breaking point on Thursday when 5 people connected to King of Warriors Rondo's cousin were arrested by federal police in Chicago. From gun possession to murderous plotting, Kevin London Grant Del Wilson, Deidre Brian Lindsay, ASA Houston, David Keith Jones, and others are currently facing a number of serious allegations.
From Chicago. This is his mugshot from Florida, where he was arrested last night and is being held without bond. This comes only hours after 5 people associated with his music business were also...
This all began on August 19, 2022, when Quando Rondo and his group were ambushed at a Beverly Grove gas station in Los Angeles at approximately 5:30 p.m. Just to give you some history, Savai Robinson, his cousin, unfortunately lost her life in the attack. The 5 accused are thought by prosecutors to have ties to Lil Durk's OTF crew, and their case suggests some incriminating evidence. In addition to claiming that these men's flights and rental vehicles were made with an OTF-linked credit card, they also say that an unidentified OTF member lured everyone interested in Quando Rondo with lucrative music prospects.
Savannah rapper Quando Rondo, a passenger in that car, frantic at the site. It all started at this mobile gas station at 5:30 Friday evening. LAPD says witnesses heard multiple gunshots, then watched a couple cars.
Suspects in law enforcement, a brawl broke out outside an Atlanta bar in 2020, and a member of Quando Rondo's group shot Durk's close buddy King Von. After charges against the suspected gunman Timothy Lowe were later dropped, many people think Durk may have decided to handle things himself. Despite Durk's history of legal troubles, King Von's death seemed to mark the start of a more sinister phase in 2019, as he was accused of attempted murder in Atlanta. Although Durk was spared jail time at the time, the charges against him for allegedly shooting and robbing a man were later withdrawn in 2022. According to the latest information, all of this issue is the result of an anonymous insider who decided to stay secret and communicate through an intermediary for safety grounds. Durk may have much more to lose than he acknowledges, but behind the scenes, his powerful public character is more of a front, and these leaked facts show a side of him that is rarely seen.
And he told me he was scared to get locked up in prison. The man's got 6 kids.
Here is an overview of Durk's life events for those of you who are not familiar with him. To understand the narrative completely, we need to go back to 2011, the year of his first significant legal event. Rather than being a passing phase, his run-ins with the law from 2011 to 2016 were a crucial part of his path, defining his career and personal life in ways that many fans may not even be aware of. From the age of 17, Durk's life was anything but easy. He was laboring to make ends meet, but no matter how hard he tried, he seemed to be running into dead ends.
When Durk first caught a charge, life was tough on the streets of Inglewood, you know. Myself, Durk, and some of the family used to live at his grandma's house, but we didn't have nothing.
With his back against the wall and a few other options, Lil Durk started relying on crime as a means of subsistence. A short time later, he became a member of one of Chicago's most infamous gangs, the Black Disciples, which further exacerbated an already difficult situation in which day-to-day survival looked almost impossible. When he joined the Black Disciples, a series of events began that eventually resulted in. When Durk was driving in October 2011, he was holding a bottle of booze in one hand while driving, which led to his first run-in with the law. He was brought into prison after the police pulled him over and discovered a loaded revolver in his car during a brief search. He was later released on bond, though, and in 2012 received a 3-month prison sentence. He seems to have given his choices some thought over those 3 months, and Durk later recounted how the experience caused him to give a new direction some serious thought.
And I was like, man, I'm gonna stay out the streets. And I was like, just got signed. But being in Chicago, man, I don't know.
Committed to making a fresh start, he started rapping and gained popularity on social media platforms like YouTube. Soon, his efforts were rewarded when his early singles, Sneak Dissing and I'm Ada, started to receive TR activity and caught the attention of well-known musicians like Chief Keef and French Montana. His career quickly took off, and by 2013, his music had spread beyond Chicago to many places. 4 mixtapes had already been released, and he was becoming more and more well-known. Leading to his collective, The Family, and Jam Recordings working together. The Rolling Stone magazine even gave his 2013 mixtape high marks, naming it one of the year's best. He was caught in trouble again, this time with several .4 caliber firearms on South Green Street in Chicago, just when things seemed to be getting better. In addition to posting a $0 bond, his lawyer presented 9 witness affidavits confirming his innocence. Thankfully, one witness even stood forward and claimed that the pistol was helping him stay away from more problems. Fans got a real look at the trials that helped Durk become the musician he is today as he persevered through the highs and lows and poured his journey and struggles into his songs. It should not be surprising that all of these experiences contributed to this. Durk quickly got back to his music, but as his fame increased, so did the street-level attention he got, especially from rival gang members who didn't respect his. Increased focus between 2014 and 2015. In addition to suffering terrible losses and violent experiences, he was always in danger. The most painful blow that came on May 31, 2014, was the death of his cousin OTF Nuno, who had just landed a record deal. 2 days before he died, he tried to drive away from the ambush, but sadly crashed into a storefront, killing him at the age of 21.
And he hit the studio. Bro wasn't slowing down at all. He got so good in the rap game that ops started coming for the family.
Being prepared to continue. His problems seemed to be resolved when he was accepted into XXL's freshman class of 2014. But in 2015, when his manager and close buddy OTF Chino was let go, he experienced yet another heartbreaking loss. Not just Durk's boss, Chino was his family. On March 27, 2015, Durk was in the studio when he received the shocking word that Chino had been dismissed 10 minutes after their previous talk. He can still clearly remember that tragic day.
How long ago did you talk to him? Like how before it actually happened?
Like 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Heartbreak, gang rivalries, and legal troubles seemed to follow Durk about like a shadow, yet he never let any of these things deter him from pursuing his music. Although he won admirers from coast to coast and gave performances across the nation, his growing popularity didn't stop the street fights. In fact, it seemed to make them more frequent. Not only did gang hostilities persist in Chicago, but they followed him around. When he was about to play at the Living Arts Theater in Philadelphia on September 5, 2015, he went aggressively. A guy was killed when bullets struck Durk's tour bus and were directed at the crowd. The episode acted as a chilling reminder of how readily violence could reach Durk, no matter how far away, even though he was not jailed. Although Durk made every effort to stay out of trouble throughout the ensuing years, he was facing his most serious charge in 2019, and despite his best efforts, he was unable to evade the constant legal barriers. King V, a fellow rapper and close friend, was present on February 5, 2019, so he wasn't alone this time. A violent incident between Durk and V was thought to have occurred, which would later become yet another complicated and tragic chapter in Durk's.
Because I have nothing to add, like I have nothing to run from.
Did you do it? Did you shoot this man? Did you commit the other crimes of which you're accused?
King V and Durk allegedly targeted somebody named Alexander Withers that day, shooting him in the legs before escaping in the parking lot with his Jeep Cherokee and $330,000 in cash. Witness reports, CCTV footage, and other information indicated that they had a disadvantage. Both of them were charged in court after V was arrested shortly after and Durk turned himself in. Continuing until tragedy occurred, changing everything again. King Vol was out in Atlanta on November 6, 2020, having a good time at a club when a little altercation went south and swiftly escalated into a fight outside. As soon as the altercation turned violent, VA was slain by the barrage of bullets. 2 more individuals died, and 3 others, including a police officer, were hurt in that brief, chaotic time. It was heartbreaking to lose Durk V, who was more than simply a friend. They were brothers. Due to a high-stakes court battle, Durk was left to grieve, but by 2022, he was exonerated of those allegations. Von's passing, though, didn't appear to lessen the load, and there were whispers that Durk wouldn't sit idly by while his pals died.
My people, I can't f with you. I'm not into it with you. Like, if I see you, I ain't saying, like...
Speculation that Durk had planned a hit on Rondo began in 2022. Von's King was reported to have been the work of Rondo's group, and Durk demanded retribution. Rondo was not reached by the attempt, but his cousin Lil Po was killed. Although the police briefly held Durk, they soon released him because the inquiry was nearing its conclusion, and there were rumors that there was evidence that implicated him. This time, Durk might have to face a hard truth again, and he might not be able to escape the consequences.